Welcome back. The countdown to Halloween is on, and a shop in Portland is the perfect place to explore if you're looking to get into the spooky, mystical spirit.
Here to tell us more about the Lady in the Moon is the owner and operator, Jess Howell. Hey, thanks for coming on. Good morning.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, first of all, how long have you had the shop, and tell us more about the name, how you got that, the Lady in the Moon?
Sure. Okay, so we opened in 2017 in a smaller location on Free Street, and then we moved in 2020 to the Monument Square location. And it's funny, the name of the shop changed. I had an original name for it, but people couldn't really pronounce it.
Okay.
So I was on the phone with my mom, and I'm like, you know what, I was thinking about maybe Lady and the Moon. And she was like, wait, what? Lady in the Moon? And I was like, ooh, even better. Instead of like man in the moon, Lady in the Moon.
Oh, I love that.
So she kind of helped me kind of rebrand it a little bit.
And it was actually kind of a mistake, like a game of telephone almost.
100%. It was funny.
And so on your website, you call yourself a boutique for healing and mysticism. What do you mean by that?
Sure. So the mysticism part, I kind of wanted to have like an elevated metaphysical shop, sort of make it a little bit more sophisticated but still accessible. And the healing is sort of, I have tarot readings and we have astrology readings, so that was that component, but I really wanted it to be an everyday sort of shop, all year round, not just for Halloween, but.
Yeah, speaking of everyday shop, talk about some of the things that customers can come in and see when they're down near Monument Square.
Sure, so I have candles, I have gifts, tarot cards of course, but all kinds of just everything. I really wanted to make a little bit of everything, so it's hair accessories, jewelry, earrings, everything.
Yeah.
It has a kind of a mystical lean to it.
It looks gorgeous. And so you mentioned the tarot readings. Tell us what that experience is like. Do you have a lot of people coming specifically for that?
Sure, yes. I have several different readers, and we all want to take a very kind of practical approach, not too woo-woo. So for people that aren't familiar with tarot readings, they're not kind of, I have some people that are scared a little bit, but we're trying to take a very positive approach too. So when you come in, you can have like a 15-minute reading, half-hour, hour-long reading. We also can come to your house and do birthday parties and company parties.
Yeah,
So.
what are things that you can answer for people that have questions or what the cards reveal?
Sure, people are always kind of like, is it scary death or breaking up or divorce? We don't really take that approach. It's more sort of if there's repeating of patterns that are happening in your life and kind of larger overarching questions. So I know it's kind of vague, but it's sort of a conversation between you and the tarot reader.
You don't want people to leave upset, I imagine.
No, absolutely not. No, that would be awful.
But maybe having just a little more knowledge about themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask you, this time of the year, right around Halloween, leading up to it, do you get more people to come in and see you or ask for tarot readings or anything like that, or shop for things?
Sure. I always say, I'm like, we're not Halloween USA or Spirit of Halloween, but there is sort of a more of an interest right around Halloween for sure. But it's not totally witchy, but there is kind of a witchy element to the shop for sure.
How's the journey been, to getting here to where you are today?
My goodness. Well, during COVID, that was definitely a bump in the road, but I survived, I thrived, so
Yes.
that was a bit of a challenge just because the shop was closed for a little while. But we have such a following and such a support from everybody in town, really, I just can't be thankful enough for everyone loving the shop.
You guys were voted best metaphysical shop in Portland in the Old Port Awards 2024. What does that mean to get that honor? Of course, you had to have customers vote for you and everything, right?
Right, I love it. I kind of like to stay behind the scenes, and I'm not really too taking kind of selfies or little videos of, I just kind of like to be in the back. So when I started seeing that people were voting for me, I was like, oh my, I couldn't believe it, because that's not sort of my approach, basically. So it was a surprise. I couldn't believe it. And then I won it once, then won it again, and I'm elated. It's really exciting.
So 2 years you've won it?
2 years in a
Oh my
row,
goodness,
yeah,
that's
really
exciting.
nice.
Do you feel like you have you mentioned the following, do you have a lot of customers that continue to come back?
Oh yes, and it kind of becomes like a little bit of a family, my staff and I, and repeat business is really our business. We love it, and the readings, for sure, people come, you know, monthly for a reading, or it brings in friends and family, and it's great. I love it.
Speaking of reading, how does one become a tarot reader, or you know, or a job like that?
Sure, I think people
or calling, maybe a better word.
I feel like that's probably there's an interest, and then sort of building upon that. And in the store too, I have a lot of books and references for people who are interested in that as well. I think it just sort of, there's an interest and there's kind of an intuition that they find kind of comes together, and it's kind of a gift. I think, I really believe it's helpful for people in their self-awareness too.
What's the best way for people to learn more and either come by the shop or maybe sign up for a reading?
Sure, so you can visit our website. We have an online calendar, and you can book a spot, or you can just come in. A lot of walk-ins. The only days that we don't have readings are Mondays and Tuesdays because it's kind of slow.
Yeah, and definitely a cool place to go. I've been there several times. I just didn't know it was called Lady in the Moon. I never noticed.
Right. I
just would walk in and go, man, it's such a cool shop.
And I've walked by so many times, and now I'm going to come in and see you because it does look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
thanks
much.
for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.